Okay. Yes. So, let's begin the discussion on the topic called Aja. What is the name of the topic that is called Aja?
The invention of Vita-wonk.
Yeah. So, the topic name is called as the invention of Vita-wonk, right? And who is the writer? The writer is Roald Dahl, isn't it? Roald Dahl,
The,
right?
Roald Dahl.
Royal Dahl, right? So, and if you talk about that, the title which is suggested here in these lines, or you can say that in this particular topic, uh, where it is stated the invention of Vita-wonk, which likely refers to the what? Creation of discovery of a creation or discovery of a what? Of a fictional substance, right? Fictional substance, uh, which is called as a Vita-wonk within the context of the story. In this particular writing, Roald Dahl, especially in works like Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator, right? So, which is nothing but a fantastical and imaginative inventions, so which are common, right? So, Vita Wonk is a fictional creation. Fictional means called as a something which is imaginary one, right? Or the characters are fixed. So, and here also you would find out it is a fictional creation by the character Mr. Wonka in the narrative, right? So, if you talk about the title, the invention of Vita Wonk. So, invention means what? Now, this term suggests the creation or discovery of something new and unique, often through ingenuity and creativity, right? Often through what? Ingenuity and creativity. So that is the meaning of invention. Second one, you talk about Vita Wonk. So the specific name given to the invention, Vita, may be derived from vital. Vital means something called as a very important, implying life or vitality. Implying what? Life or vitality. That is the meaning of Vita, may be called as a vital or indicates to the life or vitality, energy. And Wonk is a term often associated with Mr. Wonka, right? The eccentric and inventive character in the story. So that is the reason the title of the topic is taken as the invention of Vita Wonk, Vita Wonka, right? Or Vita Wonk. So, in that case, it suggests or it signifies a pivotal moment. Pivotal moment means very important moment in the narrative where Mr. Wonka creates or introduces this remarkable substance with special properties. The use of the term Vita-wonk hints at its purpose. So, like we understand, no, Vita means what? Vital, energy, right? Life. So, possibly something related to life or vitality, and the word invention emphasizes the creativity. Now, if you look into the first part where it is stated, Mr. Wonka begins by inventing Wonka Vita or Wonka Vite, so which makes people younger. So, what is the meaning of Vita? Vita means life or vitality, energy. So, here he created something which makes people what? Makes people, you can say, you can say that a kind of a means good thing for the people, right? So, and Vita Wonka, or Wonka Vite. So is nothing but a too strong. So some people disappear because their age becomes minus. Their age becomes minus. One person actually becomes minus 87, which means he has got to wait 87 years before he can come back. So Mr. Willy Wonka must invent a new thing. So in this case, if you look into this text, these lines of the text, which is describing that Mr. Willy Wonka initially or at the beginning invent something called Wonka Vite, a substance that has the ability to make people younger. However, the invention has a significant drawback, significant or important outcome. What is that? Now, the drug is nothing but a called as a, or the invention is nothing but called as a too powerful. As a result, instead of just making people a bit younger, it causes some individuals to become what? To become so young that their age turns into a negative value. The text humorously or causing fun, or you can say that causing means you can say that comedy uh, describes the situation by saying because their age becomes minus. So the consequences or the consequence of this overly Wonkavite is that some people actually disappear. And this mention of something becoming minus 87 implies that what? Their age has somehow reverse means going back to a point 87 years before their birth. In the fictional world of the story, this means that the person must wait 87 years before they can reappear or return to their normal age. So the humorous means what? Something which cause you laugh, something which cause you means make fun, and a fantastical element of people experiencing negative ages is a typical feature of the this writer Roald Dahl's imaginative storytelling. The unintended consequences of inventions often lead to what amusing and unexpected outcomes in each work. So the mention that Mr. Willy Wonka must now invent something new suggests that this unexpected result prompt him to go back to drawing board and create a solution to the issues that was caused by the original invention. Okay, so now let's move to the text and try to understand what the text stated. So Mr. Wonka said, so once again I rolled up my sleeves and set to work. Once again I squeezed my brain, searching for the new recipe. I had to create age to make people older, oldest. Ha ha. I cried, for now the ideas were beginning to come. What is the oldest living thing in the world? What lives longer than anything else? So, in this case, if you look into the term called as a rolled up my sleeves. So, where it is stated, no, Mr. Wonka said, so once again I rolled up my sleeves and set to work. What do you mean by rolled up my sleeves? It is nothing but an idiom which means to prepare for hard work or to start working on a task in a determined manner. So you also find out set to work. So set to work means what? To begin working on a task. So here the line which is stated, Mr. Wonka said, so once again, I have to do hard work or to start work again on a task in a determined manner. Determined manner means with a full of effort. So once again, I squeezed my brain searching for the new recipe. So squeezed my brain is what? Now this is a figurative expression that means to use one's intelligence and creativity to come up with ideas or solution. So once again, he has to use his intelligence and creativity to search for the new recipe. So here recipe means what? That called as to identify a formula or to create a formula or set or set of instructions for achieving a particular result. So the author said that I had to create age to make people old, older, oldest. Haha, I cried for now the ideas were beginning to come. So when you talk about create age, it means to invent or produce a process that results in people aging. That results in people aging. So old, older, oldest, referring to the different stages of age, with oldest being the maximum age. So, in the next, it is also said that what is the oldest thing live in the world? What lives longer than anything else? So, when you say that oldest living thing, so it refers to the entity. Entity means any of the small element that has existed for longest duration among living things. So he is asking that what is that oldest living thing in the world? It means he wanted to know that any of thing so which will stay for the longest duration among living things. So lives longer than anything else. So what endures for the greatest amount of time? Right? What endures? Endures means what? That called as a long lasting for the greatest amount of time compared to everything else. So if you see that Mr. Wonka is describing his creativity process of coming up with a new recipe or new formula, he is trying to create any substance or process that can make people age. And he gets, or people, or he gets inspiration from thinking about the oldest living thing in the world. So this paragraph reflects Mr. Wonka's imaginative and inventive nature as he explores ideas to achieve his goals. The next paragraph point out what? A tree, Charlie said. Right you are, Charlie. But what kind of a tree? Not the Douglas fir, not the oak, not the cedar. No, 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 my boys. It is a tree called the bristlecone pine. Bristlecone pine. And what is that cone pine? Now that grows upon the slopes of slopes of Wheeler Peak in Nevada, USA. You can find bristlecone pines on Wheeler Peak today that are over 4,000 years old. This is fact, Charlie. Ask any dendrochronologist, dendrochronologist you like, and look that word up in the dictionary when you get home. Will you please? So that started me off. So that started me off. I jumped into the great glass elevator and rushed all over the world collecting special items from the oldest living thing. So a pin top or a pine top sap from a 4,000-year-old bristlecone pine. Second, the toy nail clippings from a 160-year-old Russian farmer called Petrovich or Gregorovich. Then three is called as an egg laid by a 200-year-old tortoise belonging to the king of Tonga. Fourth one, the tail of a 51-year-old horse in Arabia. Fifth one is the whiskers of a 36-year-old cat called crumpets. And seventh one Or sixth one, an old flea which had lived on crumpet for 36 years. Seventh, the tale of a 207-year-old giant rat from Tibet. And next one, eight, the black teeth of a 97-year-old grimalkin living in a cave on Mount uh, Popocatépetl. The knuckle bones of a 700-year-old cataloo from Peru. Now, if you look into this, Charlie said, a tree. Tree means what? A large plant with a trunk, branches, and leaves. Right, you are, Charlie, but what kind of a tree? Not the Douglas fir and not the oak, not the sedan. No, no, my boys, it is a tree called bristlecone pine. So, when you talk about bristlecone pine, what is that? A type of pine, a type of pine tree known for its long lifespan. So, Wheeler Peak, a mountain in Nebula, USA. So, when you talk about that, means bittercoin pine, so it is a very long year, its lifespan. And where does it present? It presents in a mountain in Nevada, USA. So, and if you talk about that, it is suggested about 400 years old. It refers to the age of some bristlecone pines on Wheeler Peak, indicating they have been alive for a very long time. This is fact. Ask any dendrochronologist you like and look that word up in the dictionary when you get home. Will you please? So, dendrochronologist is what? So, dendrochronologists are the people.
Expert of detective.
Yeah.
Expert of trees.
A scientist who studies the rings of trees to analyze environmental condition and dates of past events. So that started me off. I jumped into the great glass elevator and rushed all over the world, collecting special items from the oldest living thing. Great glass elevator. So, what is that? Now, it is a fictional mode of transportation, right? Fictional means everything is fictional. So, a fictional mode of transportation. So, in Roald Dahl's stories, used by Mr. Wonka and others. Oldest living thing referring to various living organisms with exceptionally long lifespan. So you find out that things which are written in a capital letter words, so they are indicating about what? Now they are indicating of some names. So the next one, it is stated, fourth one. So that started me off. I jumped into the great glass elevator and rushed all over the world collecting special items from the oldest living things. So when you say great glass elevator, it means a fictional mode of transportation in Roald Dahl's story, right? It is also said that a pint of sap from a 4,000-year-old bristlecone pine. So sap is known as a fluid. Sap means what? It is called as a fluid. So you can say the fluid that circulates in a plant's vascular system, similar to blood in animals. So that is why it is stated a pint of sap from a 4,000-year-old bristlecone, so pine. The toy nail clippings from 168-year-old Russian farmer called Petrovich Gregorovich. So, toy nail clipping means what? Now it is known as the trimmed piece of toy nail. The trimmed piece of toy nail. Trimmed piece means called as a small pieces or cutting pieces of toy nail. So when you say that Russian farmer, a person who involved in agriculture from Russia, right? So next one, 7, which is stated an egg laid by a 200-year-old tortoise belonging to the king of Tonga. An egg laid by a 200-year-old tortoise belonging to the king of Tonga. Now you would find out beside plant, you also find out about the means animals, and it is stated on egg, tortoise egg. So tortoise is nothing but a land-dwelling reptile with a hard shell. And king of Tonga, referring to the means king of the kingdom of Tonga, a Pacific island nation. So next is indicating the tale of a 51-year-old horse in Arabia. So here you would find out the author is telling about certain unique characters or plants and indicating that means who they are and how many years they sustain or live. Like if I talk about hearse in Arabia, a hearse, a large domesticated mammal used for riding, racing, and as a work animal. Arabia referring to the what? It is known as a Arabian Peninsula in Southwest Asia. So the ninth one stated the whiskers of 36-year-old cat called Crumpet. So even whiskers, if I say whiskers, whiskers means what? Long, right? Sensitive hairs on the face of a cat, on other mammals. Crumpet. So Crumpet is a whimsical name, right? Whimsical name of for the cat. So fondly call the cat as a Crumpet. Similar to that, in 11 number point, it is stated the tale of a 207-year-old giant rat from Tibet. So giant rat means we understand a large rodent, uncommon in reality, but part of the imaginative narrative. So in Tibet, an area in Asia, right? So known for its mountainous terrain. Mountainous terrain means mountainous area. So 12 is called as the black teeth of a 97-year-old grimalkin living in a cave on Mount Popocatépetl. So when you say that black teeth, so what do you mean by black teeth? Now that are dark in color. And grimalkin is what? Now an old, or you can say evil looking cat. An old evil looking cat. So that is what the meaning of grimalkin. So Mount Popocatépetl. So it is also indicating a volcano in Mexico, right? A volcano in Mexico. So these are indicating that how many years old? 97 years old. Even in the last line, it is stated the knuckle bones of a 700-year-old cataloo from Peru. So knuckle bones means what? The bones of the knuckles or joints, right? So they can also sustain for 700-year-old, right? Cataloo is nothing but a you can say a fictional or whimsical name for a creature from Peru. So if you look into that, the passage of this particular paragraph describes Mr. Wonka's adventure in what? Collecting unique items from some of the oldest living things in the world, even ranging from 4,000 years old, bristle confined to various other animals, which with a remarkable long lifespan they are. The whimsical nature of the terms or items, right, reflect the fantastical and imaginative what? Imaginative elements often found in Roald Dahl's story, right? Now, in the next passage, what does it say? All over the world, Charlie, Mr. Wonka, right? Mr. Wonka went on. I tracked down very old and ancient animal and took an important little bit of something from each one of them. A hair or an eyebrow, or sometimes it was no more than an ounce or two of the jam scraped from between its toes while it was sleeping. So when you say that all over the world, Charlie, Mr. Wonka went on. So what do you mean by track down? Track down means called as a actively wanted and located. And ancient animals means animals that have existed for a long time. So the author wanted to say that all over the world, right, Mr. Wonka went on and track down or identify old and ancient animals, right? So in the next it is stated, I tracked down the whistle pig, the bobolink, the skork, the polyfrog, the giant curlic, the stinging slug, and the venomous, you can say that squircle, which can split poison right into your eye from filthy yards away, right? Or called as a 50 wards, 50 yards away. So, poison right into your eye from 50 years means away. So, if I talk about the whistle pig, so I track down the whistle pig. What do you mean by that? Whistle pig means called as a colloquial term. Colloquial term means two words, whistle and pig, both are joined together. And this colloquial term for a groundhog, right? Bobolink. So what is that bobolink? It is a type of bird. And skark, a fictional or whimsical creature. So even you would find out that polyfrog, another whimsical or made up creature or imaginary creature. Giant curlicue, which means called as another imaginary or creative word. Singing slug, a slug that has a stingy ability or called as a stinging ability. Venomous quirk, of venomous quirk is nothing but called as a fictional creature with the venomous. Venomous means known as a poisonous properties. But there is no time to tell you about them all now, Charlie. So no time. Mr. Wonka is expressing that there is a yeah. Yeah. So, what do we discuss actually? So, in summary, you can say that this passage describes Mr. Wonka's adventure in what? Collecting unique items for some of the oldest living thing in the world, right? So, that maybe ranges from 4,000 years old bristlecone pine to various animals with remarkable long lifespan. The whimsical nature of the items reflect in the fantastical and imaginative elements often found in Roald Dahl's stories. Now, if I look into this part, okay, did you understand so far?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So next one is called as a what? Now all over the world, Charlie, all over the world, Charlie, Mr. Wonka went on. I tracked down very old and ancient animals and took an important little bit of something from each one of them. A hair or an eyebrow, or sometimes it was no more than an ounce or two of the jam scraped from between its toes while it was sleeping. So when you say that to track down, which is called as a actively wanted and located, second is called as a ancient animals, animals that have existed for a long time. So the author stated, I tracked down the whistle pig, the bobolink, the scrog, the polyfrog, the giant curlicue, the stinging slug, and the venomous squircle, who can spit poison right into your eye from 50 yards away. So when we talk about these are the things, they are nothing but an imaginary or creative creature, and stinging slug, a slug that has a stinging ability, and venomous squirk, a fictional creature with uh, venomous properties. Venomous properties means are known as a means of poisonous properties. But there is no time to tell you about them all now, Charlie. So no time means what? Now Mr. Wonka is expressing that there is not enough time to provide detailed information about each creature. Let me just say quickly that in the end, after lots of boiling, and also bubbling and mixing and texting in my inventing room, I produced one tiny cup full of what? Oily liquid, and gave 4 drops of it to a brave 20-year-old Ompa Lompa volunteer to see what happened. So when you say that boiling and bubbling, it describes the process of heating, boiling, no, heating and bubbling, likely part of the concoction process. Inventing room, it is nothing but a kind of a fictional room in where Mr. Wonka's factory, where he creates and experiments with his inventions. So Charlie asked, what did happen? So Charlie is inquiring about the outcome of the experiment. So Mr. Wonka cried and said it was fantastical. The moment he swallowed means what? Something that you take it into your mouth, right?
Then,
Yeah. The moment he swallowed it, he began wrinkling and shriveling off all over, and his hair started dropping off, and his teeth started falling out. And before I knew it, he had suddenly become an old fellow or 75. And therefore, my dear Charlie, was Vita-wonk invented? Right. So when you say wrinkling and shriveling, so poetical words togetherness, right? So describing what? The process of developing wrinkles and becoming shrunken. And when you talk about Vita-wonk, it means it is a fictional produce invented by Mr. Wonka that causes rapid aging. So, what happened in this particular text? Now, in this particular text, Mr. Wonka describes his global quest. Global quest means global thirst, right? Global thirst to collect bits from ancient animals and the creation of concoction that, when consumed, caused rapid aging. When you consume, what happened? Now you find out rapid aging. This leads to the invention of Vita-wonk, a fictional substance in the world, Roald Dahl's Charlie and the Great Gas Elevator. Right. So what does it say? It describes a hitch. Hitch means the writer's global satisfaction to collect bit from ancient animals and creation of a concoction that, while consumed, you can say that causes rapid aging. This leads to the invention of Vita-wonk, a fictional substance in the world of Roald Dahl, Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator. Isn't it? Okay. So if you observe that both of these are the 7 or sorry 10, 2, 3, 5, 4, 9. So sorry 9 points are given. So and all are written in the capital letters or capital words. So in a context is likely stylistic choice. Why those are given in the capital words? Now, because it may be the context stylistic choice to emphasize or highlight the names of a description of the terms. It serves, which one serves? That's something called as the capital letter words. Serves to draw attention. So why it is written in the capital?
What? Low.
Huh?
Your voice is very low.
My voice is very low. Is it audible? Hello?
Yes, sir.
So it serves,
Yes, sir.
it serves to the 10 capital letter words, right, which are written for the sake of what? Emphasizing, highlighting, and giving description of the items, right? It also serves to draw attention to each item and also make them stand out in the text. Make them stand out in the text. So it means if something is written in a capital letter words, right? So that that are written for the sake of what? Now separating from the general to specific. It is also written to draw attention draw attention to the readers, right? That each item and make them stand away or stand out in the text. So when text is presented, right, in all capital letters, right, it tends to have a bold and a prominent appearance, right, making it visually unique from the surrounding text. In the context of creative writing, in the context of creative writing, particularly in a whimsical or fantastical setting like Roald Dahl stories, the use of all capital letters can, contribute to the playful and imaginative tone of the narrative. It gives us a sense of what? Emphasize. It gives us a sense of emphasize and the importance to the description of these unique and fantastical items that Mr. Wonka, right, has collected from around the world. It is important to note also that the use of all capital letters for emphasize is a typographic convention, right? And is often employed for various reasons in different contexts, ranging from highlighting the points to create visual impact, right? So that is what you would find out, and that's what these lines suggest. I hope you understood.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So shall I give you some questions?
Yes, sir.
Will you be able to do them at home? Or here you do one thing, write two questions, answer, right? And the rest that you can do it at home. Okay,
Okay, sir.
fine. So what have you understood from the text in a very short summary? I will tell you that what in this excerpt, Mr. Willy Wonka creates a substance called a Wonka Vite with the intention of what? Making people younger. However, the invention proves to be too powerful and causing some individuals to become so young that their ages turn into means negative values, right? Okay. So it causes some individuals to become so young that their age turns into negative values. This leads to the what? Disappearance of certain people, with one person mentioned as reaching a negative age of 87, implying that they need to wait 87 years before reappearing. And the unintended consequences prompt Mr. Wonka to realize the need of a new invention, setting the stage for further imaginative development in the story. Right. So that is what the short idea about the topic. Let me give you some questions. Try to do them at home. Just right now, you do only two questions. Right. Rest you do at your home. Right. Are you ready for it?
Yes, sir.
Good. Where do I give you the questions? Hello?
Sir,
Where do I give you the question?
sir, in what?
Okay. So let me do what? I'll just discuss those of the questions, right? I'll discuss 10 questions and rest of the questions that you will do at home. Okay. What are the questions given here? If I talk about the questions, the first question is called as a what can you infer? What can you infer? Do you understand the meaning of infer?
No, sir.
Inference means called as a to draw the idea when you read the kind of a means a story or to read about the character. So it is asking what can you infer about Mr. Wonka's character based on its tendency to create powerful but unpredictable inventions like Wonka Vite. So what can you infer about it? Can you tell me the answer of this question? What can you conclude about Mr. Wonka's character based on his tendency to create powerful, unpredictable inventions like Wonka Life?
Yes, sir.
Hmm. So see, I asked you some of the questions. So what is the question? What can you infer about Mr. Wonka's character based on his tendency to create powerful but unpredictable inventions like Wonka White? What can you infer? Hmm? Do you know or not?
No, sir.
Okay. Let me point out, if you talk about that inference about Mr. Wonka's character, right? Inference means what have you understood about Mr. Wonka's character? So you can say Mr. Wonka appears to be highly creative and ambitious in his invention, but he may not always fully involve the consequences of its creation. Are you listening to me?
Sir, yes, sir.
Did you understand what had I asked or what I had said?
No, sir.
Why? What happened to you?
Sir, my mother gone to the bathroom and started the tap water. Sir, so I couldn't hear that clearly.
Okay. Do I tell it again?
Yes, sir.
So what did I ask? I asked the question that why means what can you infer or what can you draw? What can you conclude about Mr. Wonka's character based on his tendency to create powerful but unpredictable inventions like Wonka Vite? So the answer to this question is Mr. Wonka appears to be a highly knowledgeable, imaginative, and adventurous inventor with a passion for pushing the boundaries of possibility. So, what does you infer? Mr. Wonka appears to be a highly imaginative and adventurous inventor with a passion for interest for yeah.
What is the meaning of adventurous?
Adventurous means something which is you can say that always have a interest to do something something new, creative, right? Understood?
Yes, sir.
So while his creativity is commendable, it also suggests a lack of predictability. A lack of predictability means he cannot predict, or his predictability is lacking means called as he has a less ideas of predicting what is the means what will be the consequences. He doesn't know of it, and he doesn't have any caution also in his experiments. So he is not careful about his experiments, right? Now, second question. Uh, From the passage, what does the negative age of minus 87 suggest about the effects of Wonka Vite? So here it is stated negative age of minus 87. So if are you listening to me?
Yes, sir.
So when you talk about the negative age of minus 87, that suggests Wonka Vite's effects go beyond conventional means common understanding, creating a musical and unpredictable result where individuals age go backward. Individuals age go backward. That is what it is suggested. So that is what you would find out called as a means what does the negative age of minus 87 suggest? Now, the third question, why do you think Mr. Wonka's inventions often have unintended consequences? Unintended means what? Now it is by mistakenly or accidentally. It is not intended consequences, right? So when you talk about unintended consequences of Mr. Wonka's inventions, Mr. Wonka's inventions may have unintended consequences because he prioritizes innovation. He prefers what? He prefers new and excitement over through testing and consideration of potential side effects, powerful side effects. That is what. Okay. Question 4. In what ways does the concept of negative age, in what ways does the concept, right, of negative age add humor to the story? And humor means called as a make fun to the story. Now, if you talk about humor in a negative age, the concept of negative age adds humor by, subverting expectations. Subverting expectations means going down the expectations and introducing an absurd twist. Absurd means called as a something which is ridiculous changes, right? The idea of someone waiting negative years to return is inherently comical fun. Like you are young and you are going into the child, right? So and challenges traditional idea of aging. So what is the challenges of traditional idea of aging? Now that called as your age goes backward, right? So the next question, question number 5th, is what? How might the disappearance of people due to Wonka Vite impact the storyline? What or how might the disappearance of people disappear means gayab ho jana due to Wonka Vite due to Wonka Vite, and that impact the storyline. So if you talk about that impact of disappearance on the storyline, the disappearance of people due to Wonka Vite's Vite arts, intrigue, and a sense of urgency. Intrigue means called as something that cause and a sense of importance. to the storyline. It creates a problem that characters most solve, driving the plot forward. Most solve, driving the plot forward. So I just gave you 5 questions answer. Did you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you able to do the other 15 question?
So I will try, sir.
You try. If you're unable to do them, then just tell me. I'll help you by giving you the answers. Okay?
Yes,
Am I
sir.
clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other doubts you have?
No, sir.
Okay. Then let me say bye to you. We'll meet in the next class. Till then, bye-bye.
Bye, sir.
Good night.